Alright, well, I'm really annoyed because I originally made this video and I was recording it via YouTube. I didn't record it on my computer and then, like upload it to YouTube. So YouTube decided that since I hadn't verified my Google Plus account, I could not upload anything longer than 15 minutes. And this was longer than 15 minutes. And even after I verified my account, it would not let me re-upload the video. So not only was the video not saved to my computer, it also would not re-upload. So I'm just gonna redo this. I think this using this program though makes the video quality better. I'm not really sure how that works, but maybe just because YouTube's over the internet, my webcam just looks really crappy when it's actually really not. But either way, I was making you that lookbook like I told you, and I came across an issue where I would try and explain certain techniques that I was using, or explain products, or try and talk about colors or stuff like that, and I wouldn't really be able to describe it. And so I ended up with all these really long paragraphs trying to describe things that were just really confusing, and you totally couldn't understand what I was trying to tell you. So I think it's better to show you the techniques that I'm using than to try and explain them to you with words. Can't speak words. So I thought this would be easier. And also that was going to end up being 40 pages long, where all the makeup was going to be done on a white piece of paper. And so it looks totally different on a piece of paper than it does on someone's skin. So I figure the video is just going to work out better. So I'll just basically, I have pretty much all these looks done, and I'm just going to read them all and then show them to you video by video. So you'll have just this, my whole YouTube channel will be these tutorials for you. And then that way, if you want me to do specific things for you, specific tutorials for you, you can just let me know and I will upload them. But this first one is just basically going to be the tips and tricks section of what I had in the original typed up lookbook. And then I had done my foundation routine in the other video. But clearly it's done. I'm not going to take it all off and do it again. So I'll just show you basically how I do that, and then what my foundation routine kind of entails, and then also my contouring and highlighting, how that sort of goes for me. I do contour and highlight every day, so this is my everyday go into whatever face. So I'll just start with my tips and tricks, and the number one, they were broken into groups, and the first group was making your makeup last longer. So my first tip was just that you should moisturize right before you do your makeup. Give it time to sink in, but don't do it the night before, or wait 5 hours or whatever, because your skin is going to absorb it and then still have dry patches, which can give you a patchy look to your makeup and all that jazz. And if you do moisturizer directly before your makeup, it's going to have something to stick to, so you end up getting better wear out of your foundation when you have moisturizer directly underneath it. So the moisturizer that I use now has foundation all over it, but it is this Simple, which is just, it's a UK brand, and it has no artificial ingredients in it, which I think is awesome because it keeps me from breaking out. And this is the Sensitive Skin formula in Light Moisturizer, which is, I don't know if you can read that, but it's broad spectrum SPF 15 sunscreen. So it's gonna protect my skin from the sun underneath my foundation, all that jazz. The only issue with that is that if I were gonna be starting to lag, okay, if I was gonna be in any photos or anything that have flash and sunlight reflect, the SPF molecules reflect sunlight and light in general. So in photos with SPF, you're going to look very washed out. That is true for moisturizers, that is true for foundations, that is true for everything that has an SPF in it. It's going to reflect light and make you look washed out. So, if you're going to be in photographs, you want to stick to things that don't have an SPF. My second tip was that you should apply your foundation with a brush or a sponge. Your fingers will add unnecessary oils, and they will also melt the foundation prematurely, which will kind of destroy the molecular structure of it almost, and it just won't last as long. I don't know. It just doesn't do what it's supposed to do when you apply it with your fingers. So, you know, there's these little disposable brushes. This one's kind of gross, but I don't usually use these, so I just like found one in my makeup kit, and it's old, so that's why it looks like that. But these little triangular ones, you can use, and you basically would just put your foundation on a flat surface. You could use the top of a makeup case, you could use the back of your hand, whatever you want to use, and then you just dab this in the foundation and then blot it onto your skin. That's the same idea with the Beauty Blender, which is like my latest and greatest thing, which I always apply my makeup with. And it's stained. It's actually really clean. It comes with a brush cleaner in it, and I wash it every day after I use it, but it gets stained. And basically this, you run under water. I try and use warm water just because I like how it feels on my face better, until it gets puffed up, and then you wring it all out, and then I dry it off with a towel on the outside so that it doesn't have like water all over the outside. And basically it kind of like puts little bits of water into your foundation, so your foundation doesn't make up, it looks like skin. Which I think is just, it's just generally better, because then it's like, your skin looks nice, not like, oh wow, holy makeup. So, Beauty Blender. You can get it at Ulta, for the record. And then this is just a regular old foundation brush. This is just a cheap one that I used to use. This is kind of the same thing. You apply it to a flat surface. Any old makeup case will work, which is why makeup is great. It like helps itself. So, and then you dip the brush into the edge of that, and then you just want to apply it, you know, kind of blot it. And then I kind of did like circular motions to help it kind of sink into my skin. That's kind of, that part is up to you, but that's how a brush goes. Just no fingers as far as that goes. And then you want to use a full coverage foundation. Light coverage foundations are nice and they look good, but there are techniques that can make a full coverage foundation look light, and it will still last way longer than any light coverage foundation ever would. So you can go for the MAC Studio Fix, which is, you know, the high-end brand, or this is the one that I typically use. I actually like it better than the MAC Studio Fix. I like how it feels on my skin better. And this is the Revlon 24-Hour Color Stay. And I do it in 150 buff when I haven't been tanning, which is clearly right now I have been tanning, or in 180 Sand Beige. And again, I'm lagging when I have been tanning. So, they're not really that different, but you can kind of tell because this one's a lot darker. And that's what I have on right now, is the Sand Beige one. And it's a great full coverage foundation, and it lasts forever. The 24 hours is not a joke. Like, you can go to bed with this stuff on and wake up with like full face makeup. So I use that with the Beauty Blender, and it kind of comes out a little more sheer, but it lasts a long time. And then my other kind of trick for this is, this is an old one. This is an old one that kind of, you know, like I use most of it. So then I put in some of this moisturizer, and I just like mix it all together, you know, shook it up in this bottle. And so now this is like, let's see if I can show you. This is like a tinted kind of a moisturizer, so it like doesn't have a whole lot of color to it. So that's like one of those techniques that you can use to make a full coverage foundation sheer. So you're still getting that full coverage foundation, but you have that SPF in it. Again, SPF and the moisturizer in it. And again, with the SPF thing, I don't remember if these have SPF. I don't think they do, which is good. Yeah, they don't. So, and the other thing with this is to get it in the normal to dry skin type. I'm not good at this. It's a normal to dry skin type, because if you get it in the, you make it an oily version of it, and that literally, like, you put it on a flat surface and it's dry. Like, you can't pick it up on your brush to put it on your face or anything. So just stick with the normal one. And then for making your makeup last, setting with a powder is, you know, a good idea, but I don't normally do it just because I feel like it makes my makeup look cakey. So you want to definitely use a light hand with it. Only use it where you need it. So sometimes I'll use it in my T-zone just to keep everything from shifting and looking crazy. Or if you are using a product that needs to be set. So like any type of cream blush or like a mousse blush or anything. I sometimes use tinted lip balms as my blush because I just like how sheer they come off and it's like really natural. You have to set that. Just, you know, things like that. Under eye concealer, you have to set those types of things. But I generally stick with a translucent powder versus a colored powder. And I'll just open this up so you can see. But a translucent powder is translucent. It doesn't have any color to it. So basically all it's doing is mattifying what you already have down and making sure that it's going to stay there. Whereas, and really you can't tell the difference between these because I'm so pale, but okay, so this one is basically just going to take out any sheen and anything and make sure it stays. This one has color to it. So you're going to get some pigmentation from this, and so it's going to cover up if you use it over like a, so you can kind of tell, because like this one you can see the ridges and everything through, and this one just looks like coverage. I don't know, whatever. The translucent powder is not going to give you any coverage, so over a concealer or over a blush, it's just going to make it matte and make it stay, and that's what I like. I'm lagging, and I'm still lagging. Okay. Alright. And then as far as perfecting your face, you definitely want to look for a foundation that matches. I am a warmer undertone, so this is cool, which is why it has never really been used. You can see the little blue dots. It's a cool color, so it's very pinky undertone, so it looks too dark on me, even though it's like the correct shade. Whereas, like, this 180 Sand Beige is like 4 times darker than this, but this looks like a good color on my skin because it's really yellow based, really warm. So that's what I like about that. And then for perfecting your face, always, always, always use concealer after you do foundation. You're overusing product if you're putting on concealer before foundation, because your concealer should match your face anyway, so it shouldn't be like you have to cover up the color of the concealer with a foundation. And you're using extra product that you spent money on, and you're going to kind of just contribute to making your face looking cakey. So when you put a foundation on, it's going to have coverage. So I have like a blemish here and one up here, and then my cheeks are like really red today. I don't know why. So, but under my foundation, you couldn't even tell. So I'm not wearing concealer, and I normally don't, because once I apply my foundation, pretty much everything gets covered. And it's only if you have like a major breakout or something that you really want to cover that you bust out the concealer. Or you can go for an under eye concealer to do the whole highlight and do that whole Kim Kardashian highlighting contouring thing. Whatever floats your boat. I can show you how to do that if you want me to. But I don't know what I'm trying to say. You just need to do your concealer after your foundation so that everything can get all squared away. And then definitely highlight and contour. I know it might seem like it's something that you don't really need to do every day, but it really adds depth to your face and can help create shadows where foundation has kind of ruined the shadowing. So I do it every day. You should do it every day. Hi, Peanut. And, oh geez, it's getting dark. Can you not? So, what am I talking about? Oh, highlighting, contouring. Alright, so for highlighting and contouring, which I did today, so it's literally just like a line from your ear to the corner of your mouth. But you want to stop directly underneath of your brow bone, okay? Directly underneath the arch of your brow. So, turn correctly. The bronzer ends there, okay? And you just want to pull it in a straight line, so you get that really undercut cheek look. Like it looks like a shadow, but it's really just dark makeup. You can do this with powder, you can do it with a liquid. I prefer to do it with a powder. I use a matte bronzer. My favorite one is Chocolate Soleil by Too Faced, which I will show you. This right here is Chocolate Soleil. It's really warm, which I need because my skin tone is naturally very warm. So it has a lot of yellow undertones to it. It's a little bit darker, so when I'm tanning, fake tan and everything, I need that extra level of darkness to go over the sand beige. And I also really like it because it smells like chocolate, like what do you want me to say? So you undercut like that. So you literally I take an angle brush, you tap it in your product, you tap it off on your wrist. And then you sit it, and you're going to get darkest where you first set the brush down. And you pull it straight down in a line. And then do the other side. You know, dip, tap, do the other side. You can either wash off your brush, or I just, lagging, okay. I just brush it off on the tissue. And then you can just kind of go in circular motions. But you want to try and go, if you're going to blend it anywhere, you want to blend it up and not down. Because you really need this jawline to be clear. Going up, you can blend it in with your blush, and it won't look crazy. This second one is Sun Dipped by MAC, and it's part of their Go Hey Sailor collection. I keep starting to say Go Sailor, but it's Hey Sailor. And this one's a little bit lighter. This is the one I use in winter. Unfortunately, I broke it, so I can't really like show it to you all that well. But that one's a little bit lighter than the Chocolate Soleil, and it doesn't smell like chocolate. Sad. Alright, so then that's the cheekbones. And then you want to go in your Widow's Peak, which I don't really have one, but go in your Widow's Peak and then just blend that down a little bit. But you do not want to get into this area too much. That is bad. So do it on both sides. And don't get into this area around the outer part of your eye socket too much. Don't do that. You want that to be light. And then as far as like, I like to slim down my face because I think my face is like a little wide through here. So I pull that bronzer all the way down to the edge of my jaw and just keep, you know, going and like blend in here and go around here and blend down here and go around here, whatever. And then the next step to that is your blush. And you just want to pick a nice blush color and just go straight across the cheekbone. Just literally follow like right on the upper line of that contouring. You can use whatever blush you want. Mine changes daily. But then, for highlighting, you're going to go in a C around the outer part of your eye socket, and then you're going to go back straight to the hairline. So around and back, around and back. So it's like a 2 almost. But this one is going to be Candlelight Glow, also by Too Faced. So you can see Chocolate Soleil's up here, and Candlelight Glow is down here. And the Candlelight Glow, I just want to see if I can swatch it for you to see if it'll do it any justice. Because it's actually a really pretty color. It's one of my favorite ones. See if I can just get it to. There's not enough light out here, but it has like a gold shimmer to it. You can kind of see it there. It has like a gold shimmer to it, which I really like because I'm warm toned skin. So I do that every day over my foundation, which I apply with my beauty blender. I stick it on like a lid. I stick my foundation, like a blob of foundation, on the lid of a any palette, and then I just dab the edge of the Beauty Blender in there, and then I start at the middle of my face and work my way outward. That's really gonna be what is kind of the defining thing between making your makeup look natural and making it look kind of iffy. You don't want to mask that you're trying to blend like in other areas. You just want to start in the middle and blend out. Hormonally, women are most red at the center of their faces, so that generally works best. And then, so I do the whole foundation thing, contour, blush, highlight, and then I don't highlight anywhere besides around here. And then I would do my eyebrows. For my eyebrows, I use an angled brush. Oh, I forgot to show you this brush. This is my contouring and highlighting brush, and it's called an angled blush brush. So it's just, you can see it's like slightly angled up here, but it's also fluffy like a blush brush. Still lagging. Versus a regular contouring brush, which is kind of more like a flat shape. So this one's kind of fluffy, but it's also angled, which makes it look really natural. So that's how that goes. I use an angled brush for my brows, so it's just like this little tiny little guy. This is just a cheap one from Sephora because I go through these like nobody's business. So it's really thin, if you can see. Yeah, like you literally like can barely even tell how thin it is. And then it's just angled at the top to get a really precise line. And then the color that I use is Buck by Naked, well, by Urban Decay, and it's in the original Naked palette. I don't know if it's in the Naked 2 palette. I don't have that one. But it's just like a dark caramelly brown color, dark chocolatey brown color. And so I dip my brush in that, and then I trace the underside of the curvature. I fill in this middle part. I don't go into this like front area up here. And then I trace the top of the curvature, and then I go a line kind of directly under this front brow part, and then I hold my brush vertical and just kind of go like across there, just like that. And that kind of squares it off the way I like it. So, woo. And I dip it in all 3 times. So I like my eyebrows pretty dark. But doing your eyebrows kind of frames your whole face and makes everything look like finished. So that's always good. And then I would do mascara on just a regular day. So I use this Maybelline Mega Plush Volume Express one. And I don't use waterproof unless I'm going somewhere that I actually need waterproof, because it pulls my eyelashes out. So try and stay away from that. And then this is just, and then as far as making your makeup stay, if you were going to do your eyes, I would do this Urban Decay primer potion, which I'm sure I've like raved about already. But if you take it, I mean, I don't know if you have one, but it has this little like, almost it's like a lip gloss applicator, like from like when you're 13. And if you just take it and go directly over your eyebrows with it, you know, if you're going to prime your eyes too and do your eyes, then it will hold your brow hairs in place and then make your brow color actually like really stick. So that's really nice. That's like a little hidden bonus of the eye primer. But I think that's all the products that I wanted to go over today. I will post this on your Facebook probably, and then I will start doing like actual eyeshadow looks with lipsticks and stuff like that tomorrow. Sorry, I'm digging for a chapstick. And so, you know, you can be on the lookout for the actual looks, and if there's anything that you want me to do as far as you know, any specific style, then just let me know. But other than that, I think I have everything together. I have a whole bunch of different things, from like super natural nude to like super dark, bold color, glamazon, smoky eye type things. So, you know, with like bright purple lip stain. I don't know. So, yeah, if there's anything specific, let me know. And then if I already have an idea for it, then I will just, like bump that up to the beginning of the line, or I'll just create an entirely new makeup look if it's something that I didn't really think of. So just let me know.